For years, Danny the Count Koker's garage seemed like the perfect blend of horsepower and heart. Bikes roared, paint guns hissed, and a colorful crew turned beat-up rides into rolling art. But underneath the polished builds and easy banner, counting cars was quietly losing people. Some pushed out, some walking away, and at least one leaving behind a legal mess that made headlines. Here's a closer look at how the show, and the man behind it, got to that point, and what really happened to the faces who vanished along the way. Long before cameras ever rolled inside Count's Customs, Danny Koker was a kid who grew up around engines and music in equal measure. Raised in Detroit, a city practically built on the automobile, he spent his childhood alongside his father, a professional gospel singer who also loved cars, tinkering the family garage. That early exposure shaped him. By his teenage years, Koker was already repairing and reworking vehicles on his own. Cars weren't his only outlet, though. In the early 1990s, he built a cult following in Las Vegas as Count Cool Rider, a late-night horror movie host known for leather, sunglasses, and theatrical flair. It was a small, campy gig, but it gave him something valuable, real experience being in front of camera. Eventually, Koker opened his own shop mostly out of necessity. He was tired of waiting behind other customers to get work done on his own vehicles. That practical decision slowly grew into something much bigger. His rebellious take on classic restoration attracted attention, and Count's Customs became known around Las Vegas for turning ordinary vehicles into standout builds. The real breakthrough came when the History Channel's Pawn Stars took off. Because the show was set in Las Vegas, Koker was regularly brought in as an outside expert on cars and motorcycles, and audiences responded immediately to his personality. Producers took notice, and in 2012, Counting Cars launched as a spin-off centered entirely on Koker's shop and his projects. The series wasn't just about restoration work. It leaned into the relationships and pressure behind each build. Viewers liked that it felt genuine rather than manufactured, and by its third season, it had become one of the network's top-performing shows. Koker's success spread beyond the garage, too. His personal car collection grew past 100 vehicles, and he opened additional ventures, including a rock bar, a tattoo shop, and even fronted his own band. But as the brand expanded, so did the internal pressure, and not everyone in the shop was built to handle it. Although each episode ran roughly 30 minutes, the actual build behind them took months of real labor. Stripping frames, custom welding, upholstery work, sourcing rare parts, and painstaking paint jobs. Unlike shows that fabricate drama for the sake of pacing, Counting Cars stuck to real projects and real timelines, but that authenticity came with a cost. Editing still shaped how tense moments appeared on screen, often compressing long, grinding days into what looked like sudden blow-ups. Inside the shop, Koker ran things with an exacting eye. Every finished vehicle carried his name and often a six-figure price tag, so there was little tolerance for shortcuts. Employees who couldn't meet that bar were either pushed to improve or pushed out. As the show's popularity grew, so did outside pressure. Tourists showed up looking for autographs, customers expected impossible turnaround times, and some crew members started enjoying their newfound recognition more than others, which created friction within the team itself. Behind the scenes, the business also dealt with real legal and financial headaches tied to high-value restorations, tight deadlines, and demanding clients, including disputes over cost estimates and modifications that occasionally ended up in court. Over time, all of that combined pressure contributed to a steady pattern. Crew members quietly disappearing from the show, one after another. Not every departure involved someone the audience recognized. Joseph Frontiera rarely appeared on camera. He wasn't welding or painting. He was managing the books, tracking payroll and expenses to keep the business financially sound. In 2016, that low-profile role became the center of a serious legal dispute. According to court filings, Count's Customs sued Frontiera, alleging he had taken more than $75,000 from the company. The accusations were specific. Prosecutors claimed the money funded personal expenses, including a down payment on a Range Rover and private travel. The lawsuit also alleged Frontiera had forged Koker's signature and manipulated financial records to hide what was happening. The suit didn't stop with Frontiera. It also named the staffing agency that had placed him in the position, accusing the agency of failing to properly screen his background before sending him into a financially sensitive role. For a business that prided itself on loyalty and trust, the allegations landed hard. Yet true to how these situations tended to play out on the show, Frontier's exit happened almost silently. No on-camera confrontation, no explanation, no farewell. He simply stopped appearing, and viewers were left piecing the story together from court records and news coverage. Frontier himself largely vanished from public view afterward, and much of the case's resolution remained sealed. Koker never addressed it publicly, a silence that likely reflected just how deep the sense of betrayal ran. If Frontier's exit was about broken trust, Scott Jones's departure was about friction. As shop manager and bookkeeper during the show's first 2 seasons, Jones was a numbers-focused counterweight to Coker's more impulsive instincts. When Koker wanted to greenlight an expensive part or an ambitious redesign, Jones was often the one pumping the brakes, and that dynamic created plenty of visible tension on screen. After season 2, Jones was simply gone, with no formal explanation. Speculation followed quickly, including rumors of financial mismanagement, but no lawsuit or criminal case ever surfaced connecting him to wrongdoing. The only stated reason was that he relocated to Tennessee to be near family, and that's exactly where he ended up. Jones now runs his own high-performance shop, Koker's Extreme Automotive, and has since appeared on a separate reality series about collectors. He has never spoken publicly about his time at Count's Customs. Roli Szabo brought personality to the shop as his lead detailer, known for his thick accent, humor, and meticulous attention to every finished vehicle. Fans loved him, and he appeared consistently from season 2 through season 6, until he simply stopped showing up. No goodbye scene, no mention from the rest of the crew. Theories range from internal conflict to being let go for missing work, but the most concrete public event tied to his exit was a 2017 theft. Local news confirmed that Szabo's trailer, loaded with thousands of dollars in detailing equipment, had been stolen. He posted briefly about the incident online before going quiet. No lawsuits or official complaints followed, suggesting that whatever conflict existed stayed internal. Szabo went on to launch his own mobile detailing business in Las Vegas, which has built a loyal following, though he's never publicly explained why he left the show. Shannon Aikau built a reputation as the shop's standout motorcycle builder, understated in personality, but exceptional in skill. His bike builds carried a distinct artistic signature, and for several seasons he was a steady, reliable presence. Around season 7, his screen time began shrinking. There was no scandal, lawsuit, or public falling out tied to his exit, just a gradual fade from group scenes and update segments. The most consistent theory is that the show's direction shifted toward flashier, more dramatic content that didn't align with his quieter, detail-oriented approach to motorcycle craftsmanship. Aikau never publicly criticized the show or Koker. He simply stepped back and continued working in Las Vegas's custom motorcycle scene, where he's still respected within the community. Few cast members were as visually memorable as Mike Henry, instantly recognizable for his horn helmet and vibrant mohawk. As the show's lead airbrush artist, he combined outrageous creativity with genuine technical skill, turning cars, bikes, and helmets into elaborate pieces of art. That same creative drive occasionally put him at odds with Koker, who had to balance artistic freedom against deadlines, client expectations, and brand consistency. Henry has hinted, without ever being openly critical, at the pressure of juggling detailed artistic work with the demands of filming. Over time, his screen presence decreased, though unlike several others on this list,